Welcome back to Dad Riffs, and today we're going to be working on Send Me an Angel. Now the real version of the song is in a half step down, so you'd have to tune every single string down a half step. No big deal, but I kept mine in standard tuning just to show you this lesson. Hit this root note right here on the D string, and then you're going to do this the entire time. You're going to hit E, B, G after pretty much every root note, so it goes. I use no pick for this one. I'm sure the real version is played with the pick, but I like to practice, with these fingers. I got to get used to doing the up stuff. And then the root note goes to here, which is the C note. And then you're going to go up to this chord. You got your pinky on the 5th fret of the A string, and then you got ring right here, 4th fret of the D, pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and then right here on the B string. So it looks like this. And then you just take your pinky off and replace it with your pointer finger right there, so you're going to bar. Probably the hardest part of the song. And then it starts over. And when you get to here, so the pattern goes like this on the second time around when you get to here. So you're hitting that root note, and then going back to the D string for every other note. So it sounds like this. Now instead of bouncing off that D string, you could be bouncing off the root note. So it repeats that a few times, and then the singing starts, and when the singing starts it gets a little easier. So you start with the same thing you did, and this time you're going to go down to here, and then this G note. Do that again. Except you're going to end with the other thing you just did a little bit ago. Yes. And then eventually we're going to get to that chorus. Might as well go in right after this. And then you got right here, ring finger, where it just was, and then bar on the 2nd fret. And pretty much do the same pattern you were doing before where you're bouncing off that D string, but on the bottom 4 strings, so it sounds like this. So this time you're bouncing off the G string. Again, you could be bouncing off that root note if you like. Then you go down to this chord. So that's middle finger right here, pointing finger right here. And then you got pinky for this next chord. Now, I'm pretty sure this would be the chord, but I like hitting the open B string, so it sounds like this. Same exact pattern as you're doing before. And then slide your pinky up to here, and then you got your ring finger on the D string on the 4th fret, and just slide the whole thing up a whole step. So that's the chorus. So it does that twice. And this is super cool. It actually key changes up a whole step. And so now the verse is going to be right here. So what you're doing is just scooting the whole thing up a whole step. So you got a ring finger on the D string on the 4th fret, and then you're going to be barring the 2nd fret on the bottom 3 strings. So it goes. And then open D string. And then you got this chord that you were doing before. Throw your pinky right here. And the same thing you just did. And you're going to bounce off this one now. And then the singing starts for that 2nd verse, and it goes like this. Now you're going to go down to here, and then open A string. Repeat. End with this. And then it goes into that chorus, and you're gonna just do the same thing you did before, but a whole step up, so it's gonna be right here this time. right here. And then your pinky goes on the 6th fret of the A string. You got your middle finger, D string on the 4th fret, and then pointer finger on the 3rd fret. And then I like hitting this open B. I don't know if that's in there, but I like it. And then slide that up. Yes, and that's the whole second chorus where the key change is up, you know. You don't have to do this. I just did a little hammer-on pull-off with your pinky right there. But yes! Beautiful song. Yes! Good luck, sir! Good luck!